Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar. My name's Ewan, and I'm joined tonight by my colleague Lesley to take you through tonight's presentation, and we're really pleased to see that so many of you have joined us. Lesley and I are both careers advisors with Skills Development Scotland, or SDS, as you may know us. SDS is the National Skills Agency for Scotland, and we deliver Scotland's career service. Now, as a parent or carer, you have a key influence in your young person's life and decision making. And tonight we'll give you a general overview of SDS and talk about the role of a careers advisor in school and the support available for you and your young person. We're really looking forward to sharing some advice and resources with you over the next 20 minutes or so, and this should help you and your young person throughout their time at school and beyond. Tonight we'll give you some information on useful websites, as well as contact details should you wish to get in touch or find out any more about any of our services. But please don't worry about taking any notes for these, as we'll send you all these details in an information sheet after the session. Now, before we get started, I need to let you know that our session is being recorded tonight for anyone who can't make it this evening, and it will be available if you want to listen to it again. The link to do so will be sent to you afterwards. Now, we can't see or hear any of you, so if you'd like to ask any questions or make any comments, they'll be anonymous unless you put your name to them. If you do have a question or if you'd like to comment on any of the information that you hear tonight, please use the Q&A box in the right-hand side of your screen, and we'll try to answer as many of them as we can. If you have any specific questions relating to your young person, you should contact your school careers advisor directly. So who are we? Well, as I mentioned, we are Skills Development Scotland, or SDS. SDS is the National Skills Agency, supporting the people and businesses of Scotland to develop and apply their skills. As part of this, we deliver Scotland's career service. Working with our partners, we aim to ensure that every individual has the skills and confidence to get a job and progress in the workplace, achieving their full potential, and that employers have the right skills at the right time in high-performing, fair, and equal workplaces. Our career advisors are professionally qualified experts and are in every state secondary school in Scotland. We provide one-to-one and group work career information, advice, and guidance, alongside teachers and developing the young workforce to support your young people to make the best career choices. We have a network of SDS centres across the country for people of all ages to visit, and our advisors help people at all stages of their careers. And we can help people with lots of different things, such as career choices and changes, developing and using their career management skills, creating CVs and interview preparation, information on apprenticeships, and also help with redundancy situations. We also have a national helpline, and we're the ones behind Scotland's career website, My World of Work. All of this is with the aim of helping your young person make the best decisions at the right time. This is just the first step on your young person's career journey, and we're here to support them at every step of the way. I'm now going to hand you over to Lesley, who will tell you a bit more about how we will help your young person take that first step in their career journey.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for tonight's session. It's great for us careers advisors to be able to talk to you tonight during this time of transition for your young person. Moving to the big school can be daunting. There's lots going on for your young person, such as getting used to that new school building, meeting new classmates and teachers, and figuring out the new timetable. But there's so much to get excited about as well. It's a time to inspire curiosity, ignite imagination, and a time of exploration, discovery, and a new adventure. And we know that just like us, you'll want to nurture them and support them as they get used to making these changes. There'll be other changes too in the not too distant future. For example, choosing their first option choices. So the groundwork that's done now can help them make these big decisions with confidence when the time comes. So how can we help your young person in school? Well, career planning is an ongoing journey, and at this stage, it's all about taking that first step and encouraging that exploration. I think it's safe to say that career support is very different today from when you and I were in school. Nowadays, it's so much more hands-on and continuous. We start introducing careers to young people early in their school journey to support young people to feel confident in making informed choices at later stages of school or at critical points, such as option choices. We never tell young people what to do, but we will work with them to help them discover what's right for them and everything they need to know to achieve this. Our advisors work in school almost every day, just like a regular member of teaching staff. And we see pupils in group sessions, one-to-one appointments, or at drop-in times. In first year, or S1, your young person will be part of a group session that will help them get to know their careers advisor and understand the kind of support that they'll receive. And it's at this point we'll start to talk to them about career management skills. And I'll explain all about these and why they're so important in a few moments. We're not just here for young people in first year. We're here for them all through their school journey and beyond. On the screen, you can see some further detail about the kind of support and conversations we have with young people in school. These conversations may happen during whole class sessions I mentioned earlier, at one-to-one appointments, or maybe at a drop-in session. We'll talk to them about how useful it is to find out about their self, their strengths, and their skills. We'll encourage them to be curious, in fact, explore all the options and widen and challenge their thinking. We'll encourage them to challenge stereotypes about the world of work. For example, there are no jobs more suited to one gender than to others. We'll be there for them when it comes to making their option choices, including group work sessions, one-to-one appointment to which you as parents and carers are very welcome to attend. We highlight the different types of careers that are out there and how to research them. We introduce them to various routes and pathways into employment, including apprenticeships. We discuss the idea of what a network is and how building and maintaining these networks is helpful when it comes to getting work or learning experience, or about finding out about different opportunities. We go over the fundamentals of creating a great CV and how to apply for courses and interviews. This unique national support is available to all young people in Scotland, with more intensive support offered to young people with additional support or learning needs, military children, and those who are care experienced. You'll recall that we did mention career management skills, and I'd like to talk to you a bit more about these. Career management skills are for life. They're the key skills to help young people make and take ongoing career decisions as the world of work and learning changes. They come under 4 themes: self, strengths, horizons, and networks. And let me tell you a little bit more about these themes. So self is about understanding what you like, your interests, your values, and what's important to you. Strengths is about understanding what you're good at and being able to develop these further and learn from different experiences. Horizons is about understanding what routes and pathways and options might be available to you. And networks is about understanding who can help you and how they can help support your decisions and actions. By understanding and developing their career management skills, your young person will be encouraged to think about who they are and what they like to do. And this will help them think about questions such as what inspires me? What gets me excited? If young people feel confident that they've identified, developed, and can use their career management skills, they'll be much better equipped to explore and consider their career ideas and pathways. This will help them take action to move their plans forward now and in the future. Now, we've now got a walkthrough video of our careers website, My World of Work, to explain a bit more about this advice and resources that we've got available there.
We support your young person through our career website, My World of Work. On the screen now, you can see the homepage for My World of Work. If you're viewing the site on a mobile or tablet device, the pages may look a little different, and you may need to scroll more, but all the content is the same. Your young person will be encouraged to register for a free account on My World of Work during a group session in S1. They'll register for an email address and be advised to set up a memorable password. By registering on the site, they will have access to a range of digital tools that will help them identify their skills, strengths, and understand their personality. The more tools they complete, the more personalised the information they get back becomes. As you can see on the screen here, there's also a dedicated area for parents and carers on My World of Work too. It has lots of information for you to help at home, as well as offering support at school transition times, such as option choices and leaving school. At the top right-hand side of the screen, you can see a sign in and register button. Registering is easy, and you can register for an account too. I'm going to sign in now as an S1 pupil and show you what their account page looks like. The site supports people at any stage of career planning with our to-do list, designed around the age and stage of your young person, from S1 right through to S6 and beyond. There are tools that help people identify their interests, strengths, and skills and how they can relate to different jobs. By clicking on the to-do list, we can see the suggested tasks for S1 pupils. There are 3 core tools to help your young person learn more about themselves and map out their future. The About Me is a short quiz which relates their interests to different jobs to help them discover careers they'll enjoy. The results will be used to find out which jobs, industries, and apprenticeships are most suited to them. The Skills Explorer tool lets your young person identify their skills and find out how they relate to different jobs. By learning more about their skills, they'll find it easier to write a CV or answer interview questions. The Strengths tool helps your young person recognise what they have a natural flair for. It highlights the importance of their skills and how this ultimately helps them to choose a fulfilling career that they'll excel in. Why not try the tools out together? Let's go back to the home page now. You might also be interested to find out that there is lots of information about jobs of the future and the new opportunities that may be available now that maybe didn't even exist when you were at school. Clicking on My Career Options at the top of the page and then selecting Explore Careers gives information on over 600 jobs, including the subjects that might be needed and how to get into them. It also suggests vocational pathways such as foundation apprenticeships, which young people can do while still at school. Jobs cover everything from air traffic controller to zookeeper and hundreds more in between. Let me show you one of the job profiles here as an example. I'll choose app developer. If you go into the job profile, you can find out more about what this job involves. You can find out what skills you need, as well as qualification information and subjects that may be useful, as well as various routes and pathways into this type of work. Also, on the left of the page, in the purple area, you can see links to related careers and industries for you to explore. And this type of information is available for all 600 job profiles. Let me go back to the home page. The last part of the site I want to show you now is the Parents and Carers section. This is a dedicated section for parents and carers on My World of Work. All of the content here is designed to help you help your young person and yourself and spark those important career conversations away from school. As you can see on the screen, this section is packed with information and support for you as parents. There's advice and help with option choices, industry information, routes available after school, as well as our links to recent webinars. So that was a brief overview of the My World of Work website. I recommend you and your young person take a look at it together.
Thank you, and I hope that you found that video walkthrough useful. Now, it may surprise you to know that the average amount of jobs a person has in their lifetime is 14. 14. People can develop and change their careers to suit their situation, and there are lots of ways to get to the same place. There's no such thing as a wrong path. Jobs exist today that didn't even exist 5 years ago, and this will continue to be the case. What's important is that your young person is able to use their career management skills and find the right career path for them. And there are lots of routes open and available to them, including many types of apprenticeships, many more than there have ever been before. Now on this slide, you'll see there are some projected figures for skills demand and employment in Scotland over the next decade or so. We get this information through working closely with employers, industry and partners, so you can be assured that it's as accurate as possible. On this slide, you'll see the breakdown of the key sectors where these opportunities are. Technology has a massive impact on the opportunities that are available, and you'll have already noticed some of the changes. For example, online banking now requires positions such as ethical hackers to make sure that our money stays safe. In the future, we'll need lots more people working in STEM jobs. That's jobs that are linked to science, technology, engineering, and maths. Some examples of these key sectors with growing opportunities are digital technology, so jobs like coder, designer, robotics engineer. Energy and the environment, so this could include jobs such as chemical engineer, wind turbine technician, and microbiologist. They're also sometimes known as green jobs. Healthcare, childcare, and social care. There are lots of jobs in this sector that you might recognise, such as nurse, paramedic, and childcare worker, right through to the ones that you perhaps haven't heard of, such as play therapist or even phlebotomist. They're the ones who work with blood. Construction. Could your young person be part of the team that builds the next Falkirk Wheel or Queensferry Crossing? Jobs in this industry include structural engineer and architectural technologist. Together, we'll work with your young person to make sure they're equipped to successfully navigate this new future of work. We'll help them to manage the now, as well as create their own future through making well-informed decisions and taking action. I'll now pass you back over to Lesley.
We want to thank you for joining us tonight to find out more about Skills Development Scotland and what we do in school for you and with your young person. We hope you found it helpful and it's given you enough information to start career conversations with your young person. Remember, it's a journey, and just now it's all about taking that first step. It's about being there as a listening ear to share stories and thoughts, as well as encouraging your young person to explore and discover themselves, their skills and their opportunities. Please remember, we're here to help them and you. They'll grow up, of course, and as they do, their interests will evolve, the ideas of what they want to do with their life, that will change too. Allow them the space to do this. You could try working with them to explore the things they're curious and excited about in an open and engaging way. Encourage them to start exploring things they're interested in now. When they get a bit older, they could get bogged down in the pressures of school. They might have too many things to absorb information-wise. At this stage, they might be thinking in a broader, more open way. It's about giving them credit. At this age, they are pretty clued up on what's going on and what's out there. So I think now what we'll do is we'll actually move on to answering some of your questions that have been coming in tonight. So what I'll start with is, how do you explore your child's ideas about their future career without making them feel pressured into choosing something they might not enjoy? Right, well, that's an important one. And I think the thing is, you should encourage them. You should support them. Help them use the tools in My World of Work, the About You, the Strengths, the Skills tools. Look at these 600 jobs in the Explore Careers section. Finding out about jobs will help them to focus on the subjects that are important. And young people will develop as they go through school, and often career decisions are something they might make further up in senior school. So don't panic about it just now, just encourage. If they're interested, help them to look. Another question that's come in is, my child has additional support needs. What support is available? Thanks very much for posting that question. I think it's really, really important, and it's important you speak to the key link person in your school about the network of support that you and your young person will be able to link in with. Your young person's school careers advisor will be part of that network of support, and there's some useful links on My World of Work about the support available when transitioning to other learning or employment, and we'll make sure that they're available in our handout as well as being posted at the side now. And be reassured, we will support your young person and yourself all the way through school. So now I'd like to pass you back to Ewan, because I think he's had a few more questions.
I have indeed. Thank you, Lesley. Yep, we've had a few other questions just coming in. The first one I've got here is a two-parter. So the question is the support that SDS offers free, and how would I get in touch with my child's career advisor? So I can answer that first question quite quickly to say yes, absolutely. Every aspect of SDS support is free to access. On the second question about getting in touch with your child's career advisor, the simplest way to do this would be contacting us through either the school office, pastoral care, or one of the guidance staff. We work quite closely with the guidance staff in particular. So if you feel that you would benefit, your young person would benefit from speaking to one of us, then we would recommend that you either contact us through the school office, or have your young person speak to one of the guidance staff and they can get in touch with us. We'd also encourage your young person to check in with their school career advisor, as they may possibly offer drop-in appointments as well. We've also had a few questions coming in about My World of Work. So how and when should pupils register? Should parents have a separate login for My World of Work as well? So on the first question about how and when do pupils register, we would encourage your young people to register as soon as possible. And we actually have group work sessions during S1 where we would be encouraging them to register with My World of Work. But they can do this at any point. You can access My World of Work very easily. And just as we saw in the video, register on the homepage by clicking the register button on the top right hand side of the screen. On the question about do parents need a separate login for My World of Work, again, it's totally up to yourselves. There's lots of information that's useful for parents and carers to access, but anyone can access My World of Work. You don't need to be in education necessarily to use it. It's free to access for anyone at all. So if you feel that you would benefit from that, then absolutely you can set yourself a login as well. I think I'll pass you back over to Lesley, because I think you've got a couple more questions now.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks, Ewan. I have got a few more questions. The first one is, will my young person get more support at option choice time? And the answer to that one is certainly your young person will get lots of support at option choice time. Now, that could be S2 in some schools or S3. The careers advisor will organise group sessions. They might be encouraged to use the option choice tool in My World of Work. And they'll have the opportunity for an individual interview, and as I say, yourselves could be present at that if you would like. We'll also do quite often drop-in sessions, and the careers advisor quite often is at parents' nights, so you can discuss things with them there. Obviously, your pastoral care will also do sessions around option choice, so plenty of support, and always just pop by and see your careers advisor with any inquiries. The next question that's come in, right, so how do I find out more about qualifications in school? It's completely different to when I was there. And will they find out more about this in school too? Yes, well, it's completely different when I was there, and I sadly remember O grades. But don't worry about not knowing everything about qualifications. There is plenty of information out there to advise you. So I would look at the parents section of My World of Work, and there's lots of information there to keep you up to date. Take a look at the Scottish Qualification Authority website. Now, they're the people that send out the exam results, and they have lots of information on their website. The Scottish Qualification Framework helps you to understand qualifications. So you can find the equivalent if your child's doing a higher at school. It could be the same as doing an SVQ and an apprentice. It could be the same as a foundation apprentice. It could be the same as an NC at college. So lots of ways to find out what qualifications mean. They also do a fantastic little card that has a table on it, so that will be in their website as well, and quite often there'll be printed ones maybe in school. So please take advantage, look at that. If you're still in any doubt, please ask the school staff or your careers advisor. We'll happily advise you a bit more about that. I think it's back over to Ewen, because I think there might be a few extra questions coming in now.
Yep, thank you, Lesley. Yeah, I have a few more questions just come in. We've got quite a big one here. Will there be opportunities to attend workplaces to see vocations in a practical setting? And when do students start to organise work experience? So that's quite a big question. The first thing I would stress in terms of this is that most of the opportunities for work experience will probably start from S4 onwards. So it's not something to get bogged down in at the moment. It's not something to stress about at the moment at all. In terms of what the opportunities will be specifically, this will probably vary from school to school, but there will be different opportunities. So this could be things like career days, where employers will visit the school and young people will have an opportunity to speak to them about their organisation and potentially what they could be offering them. It could also be things like voluntary work placements that may be within the school, where young people could have an opportunity to gain practical experience. Similar with foundation apprenticeships as well. These are offered in senior phase as well, where young people would have the opportunity to possibly attend college or again attend a workplace to gain that practical experience. So there will be lots of opportunities coming up, but it's not something to worry about, particularly at this moment, I would say. The next question I've got in is, at what point should my child start to settle on a chosen career? Again, that's a big question, and what I'd probably say to that is there's not a set time that you need to decide. It very much is an individual process. Some people will have an idea quite early on in their education, and they'll stick with it and they'll research it, and that'll be fine. While others might have lots of different ideas that they maybe need to explore and start to narrow down, or some might just have no idea at all and not be sure where to begin. Regardless of whatever stage your young person is at, we'll be there every step of the way to help them navigate through the information, to make sure they're doing research in the right places, and hopefully that will help them to make an informed career choice. The last couple of questions I've had in are just talking about skills. So is it important to talk about skills at home, and what's the importance of skills? So yeah, absolutely. It's important that young people feel confident talking about skills. If you're able to have those conversations at home, we would very much encourage it. But it's really important that all of us, not just school pupils, but everyone is taking ownership of their own development, and that we're all continuously developing our skills. We have the opportunity to develop skills like communication, teamwork, creativity, organisation. We have the opportunity to develop all of these skills throughout our time in school, but We also have the opportunity to develop them in extracurricular activities such as sports, music, art. So it's really important that young people get to grips with what skills they're developing. And once they do that, it'll become much easier to be able to communicate them effectively. And that will boost their chances with college, university, or jobs in the future. I think that's most of the questions we've had now. So I'll just pass you back over to Lesley, who's got a final message for you.
Thank you so much for listening. You'll see on screen now the various ways you can keep up to date with what we're doing and how you can get in touch for more information and support. You can visit our website, My World of Work, at myworldofwork.co.uk. Call us on 0800 917 8000, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Join us on Facebook by searching My World of Work, or over on Twitter at MyWowScotland. You can also contact your school to find out who your young person's careers advisor is and how to get in touch with them. Please don't worry if you weren't able to take down all these details that will be included in the information email we're going to send you after this session, and that includes a link to watch the session again should you wish to do so. Thank you so much for enjoying us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.